Welcome to the new studio, guys. Hope you guys like the new vibe we created here. You know, I was watching my other videos and I was like, oh my goodness, how can somebody even watch this? Horrendous. I mean, I was going too fast. There was no personality there. The studio looked looked like I just slapped a bunch of like foam panels and stuff. I haven't finished fully setting this up yet. I just have like a LED bar right here. I'm gonna remove these like foam panels over here and I'm gonna put like my logo and like RGB lights. It's gonna reflect this way. It's gonna be a pretty sick vibe. But yeah, we're gonna change things up. You know, we're gonna slow down a little bit, be more chilled out. And the reason I was kind of like rushing my videos was because I had a Canon camera, no disrespect to Canon, and it would only shoot 30 minutes at a time. Meaning, if I'm making a beat and it's like 25 minutes in, I'm like, oh my goodness, I got 5 more minutes. I gotta finish this pattern real quick. Otherwise, I gotta go back there, turn the camera back on, and like put the video back on. It was just a mess. So we got a new camera, got a new lens. We're gonna change up the vibe a little bit, but this camera here can keep recording. So I don't have to like worry about stopping, going back there and trying to fix things. So yeah, new vibe. And today's video, I know you saw the title, we're gonna be making 5 tips and tricks to increase your productivity or your workflow as a music producer. I normally don't do these kinds of videos, but if you want more of them, just like let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, we're gonna come up with something different today, more of a tutorial kind of style. I usually make beats and stuff like that. It's kind of what I enjoy making. And I thought it would be helpful. I had a few people hit me up on Instagram. They're like, hey, Hamza, can you show us like ways to increase our productivity? And that's what we're gonna do right now. Let's get into this video. All right, guys, so I got my notebook here. Just, you know, got my ideas and notes down, just so I won't lose my trail of thought. And let's get into tip number 1, which is so crucial. Templates. Let's break that down. What is a template, right? So a template, in my opinion, is pretty much a fixed variable or a specific pattern that you always go for when you're making your beats. Let me slow that down a little bit. So for example, for me, when I'm making trap beats, once I add the melodies and stuff, and I'm trying to add in some drums, I usually add like an 8th line note of hi-hats and then maybe like a regular half beat snare. But that's just my specific pattern, right? But wouldn't it be counterproductive if I'm doing that every single time I'm making a trap beat? It just kills time. And let's say I'm taking a minute or two doing that every single beat and I make 30 beats. That's like 30 minutes to an hour of me wasting my time that could have made other beats just doing the same thing that I normally do when I could have just made a template. So let's create a template real quick, guys. Show you an example of how I would make my own templates. And then maybe you're able to apply your own tips and tricks or maybe your own pattern to it. So just increase your work productivity flow. So boom, we got a brand new project over here. Let's Command D on that right there. Command D. Let's go to like electronic drum kit pieces, hi-hats. Let's go with like trapdoor, right? Create Midi region. And we're just gonna add a straight line of 8th note hi-hats like I was mentioning earlier. Boom. And then normally for trap beats, I go for 150 BPM. So we'll set the 150 here. And we'll just delete this, Command D. We'll go to snares. Let's go to like depth charge or something like that. Boom. Create MIDI region again. Notice I'm taking time doing this, which is time I could have saved just by making a template, right? And boom, boom. All right, let's hear it together real quick. Nice. So what I like to do for my templates is I like to mute these here. And let's say hypothetically, I was just coming up with a melody or whatever. Let's go like add a loop just to show you an example of how it works. Let's add a instrument, go to piano, change this based on tempo. So let's say we got these laying low pianos or whatever. Drag it here. And let's say that's like my actual main melody, right? I'm not gonna add anything else to it or whatever. Or maybe I'm experimenting. Maybe I'm like, does it work with the kind of beat? Maybe it's too slow, maybe it's too fast. All I have to do is unmute these. And I would know if it works or not. Let me mute these back, delete this right here. Let's say you're like, Hamza, what if I use samples? But you already have the pattern there for you. Let's say I go to kits. Wow, it already popped up for me. And let's say I'm gonna use hi-hat 19. I could drag it here, quick sampler. Let's unmute this here. And I could just drag my samples over and over. And find a sound that actually works or whatever. So let's say this is the template I'm gonna go for. I could go to File, Save as Template. We'll call it YouTube for now, and save, right? So now, when I'm making a new file project, I go to New from Template, And I already have templates that I already created. You can go to the template we just created, which is YouTube, and bam, everything pops up for you. Now you just come up with your melody or whatever. You unmute these, boom. You already got a foundation for your drums and you already got the BPM set for you. So again, guys, definitely create a template. It's gonna save you so much time down the line. Like I said, if you save 1 minute per 30 beats, that's 30 minutes, right? And now 30 minutes, you could have made another beat. Let's say it takes you 2 minutes, you could have saved an hour and you could have just used that hour to be more productive, okay, guys? Tip number 1, again, templates, templates, templates. My second tip for you guys to increase your productivity / workflow as a music producer, create MIDI regions, okay? Why do I say create MIDI regions? Let's say you're the type of person who's like, oh, Hamza, I don't like templates. It boxes me in or whatever. When you create MIDI regions, you have a variation of patterns and sounds that you could just plug and play. You could adjust it from there and you have a strong foundation. You have a variety of different sounds and it saves you time. That's, again, my point when it comes to productivity and efficiency. You want to save time on doing things that you always do. So let's go to a new track region here and I'm going to set the BPM to like 90. And what I'm going to do is like look for a hi-hat real quick and try to come up with a pattern. We just added an 8th line note of hi-hats. Again, you see why I created a template earlier. And let's add some variations on it. Put some 16s here, whatever. Let's add some 64s here at the end. And we'll add like some triplets at the end. Whatever. We're just slapping whatever together, honestly. Boom. Now let's say I love this hi-hat pattern. Okay. Now what I could do is click on it, right click, export as MIDI file. And we'll call this one hi-hat for YouTube. And I already created a folder on the side of my Finder, so that way it just makes it easier for me to find my patterns. And let's save that. And let's say I was to go to new from template, and let's say I was gonna go into my hip hop template, right? So instead of going with the 8th line note of hi-hats, I could just go right here to Finder, go to MIDI hi-hat patterns, hi-hat for YouTube, literally drag it, put no on the export tempo, boom. The pattern is there with the new sound that we have already. Now, let's say you wanted to do that, for example, with like piano chords or whatever, or like a melody. I could drag this to a brand new track and it'll automatically open for you the Steinway grand piano. Let me mute this here. So this trick not only applies for like hi-hats and drum patterns, you could also use it for like pianos or whatever. Let's say you created like a bunch of melodies. You could literally just drag it in there to whatever instrument you want. Let's say horns. Obviously, it doesn't sound nice. But yeah, definitely create some MIDIs because believe me, when you have these MIDIs ready for you, you can literally just drag and drop, adjust the pattern as you feel fits for the beat, and it will save you a whole lot of time and make you more efficient as a music producer. So tip number 3 to increase your productivity and workflow as a music producer. And it was controversial, but I definitely recommend using some samples, especially if you have a block when it comes to making melodies. You tend to use the same melodies over and over again or the same sounds. Using samples or loops will definitely help you get out of your comfort zone. It'll help you get rid of that mental creative block and it'll help you keep making more beats. Let me just give you a quick example. Let's say I go to my UK drill template, right? So I already have my hi-hat and snare pattern here. It's like a skeleton, nothing crazy. And let's say I'm gonna start off with a loop, right? We could go either to like, 70 BPM or 140. Just go to 70. Set this to 70, instrument, piano. Let's see. Okay, why not? It's 67, but usually Apple Loops, they'll adjust the tempo for you. We'll drag this here. Let's say I chop it all the way down here. Let's add like some effects on it or something. Space is on let's add some halftime. It's like a UK drill classic. All right, let's play it together. Not bad. And that's the point, guys. Sometimes you have mental block. I might work on this beat later. Sometimes you have mental block and you're like, I want to try something new. I want to get out of my comfort zone. Maybe you're like working with a different artist who your melody style doesn't necessarily work with theirs. Go to Splice, go to Loop Cloud, get an Apple Loop, put it in there. It'll help increase your workflow. It'll make you more productive, especially if you have a mental block when it comes to melodies. It doesn't hurt. Now, I try not to abuse the sampling You know, because for me, sometimes I like to also like learn how to create melodies and be more creative and use different instruments. It'll open up your range as an artist. And plus it will give you that ear of like, okay, these sounds normally work with these sounds over here. So next time you're making that beat, you might be able to come up with something original. So again, guys, loops and samples, a thumbs up for me. So tip number 4, guys, to increase your productivity or workflow as a music producer, presets. I definitely recommend making some presets. Let's say you're an engineer recording the same artist over and over again, and you know he likes these effects or whatever, make a preset out of it. Let's say you're a producer and you're limited on sounds, and you went into Logic Pro X and you started finessing with the space designer, added some overdrive on your pianos or whatever, and you like the way it sounds. Save it as a preset. It just makes your workflow a lot easier because you don't have to do that same thing over and over again. What you're trying to do with these tips is avoid the patterns, because when you do the same thing over and over again, you're just killing time when you can just create a template, a preset, or some midis, and it will save you that time. Okay, so now we're gonna just come up with a random piano sound, right? Let's go to Bose Endeavor Grand Piano. I'm gonna try to find a quick loop just to slap on here. So I just put it in the emotional pianos, and let's say I added some space designer on it. Let's leave it at factory default for now. Let's say I added some overdrive on it. Let's decrease it a little bit, maybe to like 1.75. Let's say I added some tremolo on it. And let's say I added some halftime on it. We're just coming up with something random, guys. Let's play it real quick. And turn off that tremolo, it's annoying me. All right, let's play it real quick. Whatever, right? And let's say you like this sound and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to use this sound on another beat. Just go right here where it says, you know, the crystal pad of the instrument. Click it and put save channel strip setting as, and let's call this one here, YouTube piano. Save. So now I have it under my YouTube channel strip settings saved. I do have like 2 other pianos saved. So let's say I go to dark piano. Boom. The reason I'm stressing you should create a preset is because I don't have to add these effects anymore. I could just go to my preset, it's already there. And let's say you're an engineer working with an artist and you know they like auto-tune and reverb and all this stuff, just save it as a preset. So next time you work with that artist, plug it in. It saves you time. And like I said, when you save more time, it makes you a lot more efficient as a music producer because you're able to devote more time to production, making beats, or whatever it is that you want to do. My 5th and final tip to increase your productivity as a music producer, believe it or not, take a break. Yes, take a break. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I was supposed to be making a beat video, right? So for me to make a beat video, I got to record the Logic screen and I got to record on that camera. I made a beat yesterday for an hour and a half, only recording on that camera, and I forgot to record the Logic screen. So imagine that. You know how frustrated I got? I was like, oh my goodness, I just wasted an hour and a half of my day doing nothing pretty much. The beat still came out nice, but I couldn't really put out my video. And I was frustrated. I wasn't in that mental state anymore. And I was like, you know what? There's no point in me making beats. Because if I was to make beats in that mental state, if I was to go through an obstacle making beats, I'm going to get frustrated. I'm going to start doubting myself as a producer. Even if I use these tips and tricks over here, it won't help me because guess what? I'm not shooting for greatness. I'm not shooting to make a good beat. I'm literally frustrated trying to just create anything at this point just so I can make my video. If you notice that you're using all these tricks and the beats are not coming out nice and you're getting frustrated, you're not in the mood anymore, don't force it. Take a day off. Or if you don't want to take a day off, you're like one of those workaholic state of mind kind of people, which I am as well. I usually go for a run. I hit the gym. I do some like 15-minute yoga or something. You definitely want to be in that state of mind because no matter what you do, if you're in a negative state of mind trying to create beats, none of the beats are going to come out nice. If you're emotional, on the other hand, don't get me wrong, you're sad and you want to express yourself in music or whatever, sure, do that. But if you're not in the mood and you're frustrated to make beats, don't force it. Take a day off, take a break, and that's definitely one of my most important tips for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video of me telling you my tips and tricks on how to improve your productivity and workflow as a music producer. Like I said, if you like it, hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up. And if you don't mind, leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know what your tips are when it comes to increasing your productivity and workflow, because I want to learn more myself. So if there's a tip in there that you feel like I didn't go over, you feel like it's beneficial, definitely mention it because I don't mind doing like an updated video later on with your tip included if I find it helpful. And with that being said, guys, you have a wonderful day.